Okay, please try to ignore the buzzing in the background. I have my AC on because it's hot as fuck in Cali right now. Okay, or LA. But anyways, so I haven't posted in a while, and one because actually yeah, there's only really one reason, and that's because I fucked up the mic on my camera, or at least I fucked up the external adapter that connects to my mic. So yesterday was back day, which you're seeing right now, which it wasn't the best workout. I only did 3 different movements because one, I was fairly upset about the mic. 2, I'm not used to my schedule right now for my job. So right now, if you guys know anything about roving around for a job, it's basically you're offered you don't have a permanent schedule. You're offered shifts here and there, and it's nothing permanent. So you don't really have a set schedule, which for me is not the worst, but at the same time it's really hard to plan your workouts ahead of time. So everything has to be kind of spontaneous, and you're not always gonna have the most energy or have the big most motivation to even want to go to the gym. Yesterday, I knew I had to go to the gym even if I didn't want to, but my energy levels just weren't really there. I'm still taking my pre, but it just it only helps so much. So I did rows, which you saw. I'm doing lat pull downs right now, and I'm keeping this video very short because I'm just showing the movements. I'm not showing me just talking or fucking doing anything else like that. Honestly, this format might be better. I don't know, but yeah. So I was lat pull downs were feeling very nice, actually, surprisingly. I felt like I was able to pull a lot harder than I would. So right here, I think I'm doing 190. So the 2 sets you just saw, I'm doing 190 pounds, which for me is pretty impressive considering that my lats are my weakest. But right here on assisted pull-ups, I am putting a lot of assisted weight on there because my lats are just burning out, and this was the only option that I was really given. I was thinking about doing lower back extensions, but because of my new location, I'm walking and standing for the whole shift basically. So my lower back and my feet are taking a brutal beating, which just didn't feel right to do any very heavy compound movements or things that affect my lower back. So I just wanted to stay away from that. So which is fine, it's not the worst, but it limited a lot of my options, and then those options were limited by the people at the gym. So it just wasn't the best combination. But yeah, I mean, it felt good. I do feel slight soreness in my back right now, especially my fucking lats. So I'm satisfied with that. And now on to what I did today, which is arms. Arms is one of those things where it's even if I have low energy, I know I'm gonna have a good workout. It's very hard to fuck up an arm day. I always enjoy it for the most part. The only times I would not enjoy it is if I have something lingering in the back of my mind, an issue, or just negative thoughts, or just things like that is what really the only person that could ruin my day is me at that point. So it doesn't happen very often. It has happened in the past, but arm day for the most part is a safe bet. I will have a good workout regardless, which today I was trying to do is as efficiently as possible. So still doing maybe max a minute and a half rest between sets, and just I'm not waiting for any machines. I'm just bouncing from machine to machine. If one is taken up that I wanted to do, I'll just go look for an alternative or a different movement, which happens here. So I'm doing arms right now, and usually I go to triceps because I like having that pump on both sides of the arm. But because things were not going my way and people were using the machines, I had to go to a different option. But right here, I'm doing 55 pounds, which I did for a good amount of reps on that last set. I don't know, maybe I was just like at that little spurt of energy or something, but it felt great. And right now I am getting, I think I should have cut this, fuck. I'm getting 30 pounds, I think. Was it 30 or 35? One of those two. 35 pounds actually. And I'm just trying to burn out, you know. It only takes a few reps, honestly. No more than 10, minimum maybe 6. But yeah, I'm just trying to burn out the muscle as much as possible, because in my head I was thinking this was going to be the only bicep movement, but later on, you know, I do another one because I'm trying to be as efficient as possible, trying to get home as quickly as possible. Because of my new schedule, I have to get used to it. I don't want to oversleep or undersleep, so you know, I'm trying to get as much rest as possible within the time I'm given, you know, at home. Which, damn, that sounds fucking terrible. Holy shit. But now that I'm a rover, yeah, my schedule is more flexible, but it's at the cost of not having a stable income. So, you know, that's a pretty big, you know, hit. But instead of triceps, I do shoulders here, which I was thinking about doing with dumbbells, but I just found that like my shoulders respond a lot better to machine movements, and that's mainly because, you know, stabilizing the dumbbells, although it's not hard, it does take its toll over time. And I just feel like when I do dumbbells, my body compensates on the unstableness by simply shifting, you know, a lot, which I don't like. I feel like that did lead to like a couple of my injuries, maybe. I'm not completely sure, but the machines just feel a lot more stable, and I feel like my shoulders respond to them a lot better. Because right here, like, I feel it all in my shoulders. I don't feel it, like, I don't feel any pain, any pinches, nothing like that. Just straight shoulder muscle, and that it felt great. You know, I'm trying not to use my thumb because I'm trying not to like squeeze too hard and start using like the rest of my arms. I'm really trying to just focus on the shoulders. I don't know if you know, that's, you know, mechanically true or not, taking off the thumb helping or not, but mentally it helps, even if it's not a physical, you know, help. And then right here I do some triceps, which, you know, this machine, it's not bad. Okay, let me put it like this: it's not bad, but it does put a lot of pressure on the elbows, and it just doesn't feel as stable as a cable. So with the cable, you're at least able to use, you know, your body as like an anchor, and you use your core to really stabilize yourself, and you just have to focus on bringing the weight up to, you know, where your forearm meets your bicep, and not shifting your elbows, you know, forward or back. You're really trying to lock your elbows in, get as high as possible, and squeeze as deep as possible. That's it, with your body supporting you. Now with this one, it's hard to keep my elbows on the pad. So I'm like, you can see my left arm right there, which is on the right of your screen. It's like shaking as the weight is going up, and you can tell it's not completely stable. It's not a bad machine, but it wouldn't be my first option, which it wasn't, but it was my only option at the time, because I'm trying to do it as efficiently as possible. I'm not trying to, you know, spend any time waiting for people. And then here is the second bicep workout. So I was finally able to get a cable, you know, right as I finished my triceps, the cable opened up and I started doing it. So here is where I do 3 different movements. I do biceps, forearms into another tricep. So right here, biceps, even though this isn't the most efficient because it's one arm at a time, I'm really trying to like do it as quickly as possible. So for the first weight, I did 2 separate sets. They're basically back to back. So one arm, the other arm, back to the other arm, and then back to the other arm. So it's just back to back to back to back. You know, trying to save as much time as possible. I do shift the camera around just to have better angles, but you know, that doesn't take much time. I'm just really just grabbing the camera and then putting it to the side, and that's it. But yeah, these 4 sets technically, which is 2 sets for both arms. I don't know. However you want to, you know, think about it. They're all back to back to back. So not like, basically no, like whatever time it took to do one set on the other arm is the rest time for the other arm. Damn, that whole explanation just sounds fucked. But if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So yeah, these bicep curls, I just really like it because the constant tension it gives. So the tension at the top is the same as the tension at the bottom, which is the same at the tension in the middle. You know, it just feels great. I will say maybe moving my elbow forward isn't the best, but at the same time, I've done it where I don't move my elbow and it just feels weird. So, you know, just for my own sake, I do shift it forward. Which I'm not looking at it. I think my right arm shifts the elbow more forward than my left arm. Looks like my left arm, I'm able to keep it more in a like a smaller range of shifting, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tweaking. But yeah, nothing really special about this. Just one arm at a time. I was doing 70 pounds, and you know, my memory for what I did in the past is completely shot. So the weights on the other machines, I fucking shit if I know. You know, if it doesn't show up on the video, then I don't fucking know. So forearms, I was gonna do both arms at the same time, but I was like, you know what? I feel like one arm at a time would be better. One, because it would be more comfortable on my wrists, and two, because the, you know, one forearm isn't gonna really work harder than the other, you know. It you know, theoretically I feel like even like there's always gonna be muscle imbalances in everybody, you know. One forearm is gonna be stronger than the other, one bicep is gonna be bigger than the other, and there's always gonna be, you know, nothing is like fully symmetrical in a sense. But this way you're able to at least identify which forearm or which arm is the weaker one, so you could kind of compensate for that. For this, I've noticed my right is a little weaker than my left, so you could tell my left reps, the reps on my left arm are a lot faster and smoother, and my right feels a little more rigid. Now I think, damn, is it my right? The right wrist that's crunchy? I forgot. But yeah, regardless, both my wrists are in pretty bad shape. I just have weak wrists in general. I wouldn't say I had any like severe injuries on my wrists. They just never really became like, they were just always pretty fragile, you know. They were never like in the best condition. Which kind of sucks, but at the same time, you know, everybody has their flaws. So that's definitely one of my flaws, is my wrists and my forearms. But I feel like my forearms is because of my wrist. And here's the last movement, which is some single arm tricep extensions. Now this would be my favorite tricep workout if it wasn't for the overhead cable. If I never found or tried the overhead cable, this would definitely be my favorite one. Simply just because, you know, again, with the muscle imbalance, but two, because I'm really able to focus on one tricep at a time. Because before, or when I do the straight bar with both hands on the bar, and I press down, I do kind of feel like an imbalance, like if I'm pushing a lot harder on one side than the other, and I just don't like that mentally. Right here, my forearm was starting to hurt like crazy, so that's you know. But yeah, it just was, I couldn't really connect with the movement, like the movement mentally. Like I was able to still do it, you know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm able to do the movement, you know, pretty well, but it just meant that I just couldn't really like connect with it. With this one, I'm able to connect, like really focusing on one arm, on one tricep, and really squeezing at the bottom. I just like it. I like it a lot more than the straight bar variation. But yeah, that's it for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate all the support. I'm gonna be back with the regular videos. If you like this fucking format better, then let me know. But peace, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys next time.